Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Okay, so the big news yesterday was the return of the President-Elect Bola Tinubu and his wife. That was a PM event. It was big news. In fact, we shall be touching upon it today. In fact, it shall be our subject matter because, well, after 35 days, he has returned. The President-Elect has returned, and in the process has, promised inclusive governance. You know, this has been a conversation all through when he was away. We've been talking about it, that there is a need. In fact, he knows it himself, and it was sort of assumed that there will be nothing but an inclusive government. Now the man is here, and it looks like all stations are ready. Now, our guests this morning got Comrade Ayodele Adewale, Organizing Secretary, APC Lagos Chapter. A fine morning to you, Comrade.
Thanks for having me.
And indeed, it is our pleasure. And we also have Comrade again, Comrade Joe Igbokwe, APC Chieftain. I added the Comrade myself. I promoted him to Comrade. APC. You've always been, but you don't use it.
Immemorial.
But you don't use the title because you're a red cap chief right now. Joe Igbokwe is APC Chieftain and Special Advisor to the Lagos Governor on drainage. As always, it's great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now. Joe, all the time when he was away, it's like, can it be said that the political family missed him? Because the ecstasy of his return yesterday, you'd have thought he'd been away for 6 months or, a year, and not just some weeks.
Or so.
Yeah, just about a month, just about 4 weeks. Does that say within the family he was sorely missed?
Well, we do understand, what happened, how, the energy and gravitas he put in the presidential elections, he campaigned more than all the candidates put together.
It was a grueling campaign.
He went everywhere.
He went farther than any other
than we expected.
Contest. Any other one.
He campaigned more than all of them put together. So he needed the rest. And he had it.
Indeed. Comrade, is that also the way, because I just looked at, the way I saw videos of his arrival, I don't know where that place was. Maybe it was immediately after stepping out of the plane. And I'm sure you know this video I'm talking about. Ecstasy is the word that came to mind. And he's only been away for 4 weeks or so.
Well, it only shows that he's very loved, not only here in Nigeria, but all over the world. And people have been expecting his arrival, and immediately they got wind that he was going to arrive. Everybody just wanted to see him firsthand, and of course to show much love and welcome him back to his fatherland. And beyond the fact that he rested abroad, he also provided him an opportunity to meet with people in the diaspora, to think very well, and of course to reassess his plan towards May 29. And remember that he has always said he's going to hit the ground running.
That's right.
From the very first day. And a lot of policy, a lot of implementation on that first day will actually show a lot of direction, especially to the naysayer, that they are not expecting anything wonderful. But you're going to see from various things that will happen on his first day, some executive order that we are expecting, and of course appointments, which again will show us that he's much ready than we ever expected.
As the APC Presidential Campaign Council has been dissolved. It has dissolved itself or has been dissolved. In any case, there's no need for it anymore.
Yeah, so the campaigns are over.
The campaigns, indeed, but you wouldn't know it to still listen to some people on social media. We're done with all of that.
Forget about that.
We're done with
we have been here for a while, so it will happen. These things will happen. These things will come. But the deed has been accomplished.
Indeed.
It's a mission accomplished.
Indeed.
And no power
in the tongue of any man that can stop it except God himself. And God himself is not unjust. The man labored for it. We went when Marina, after winning the election, he came with his certificate and said, look at it, 30 years. It took me 30 years to get to where, to get this. 30 good years. And I'm a witness to history.
Mm-hmm. And so if a person has spent all of that time working at a thing, it's not surprising at all to hear that he intends to hit the ground running. He's been working at it. He's been planning.
Of course, you know, it wouldn't take him 6 months to go and start building his cabinet.
No.
It wouldn't take him 6 months.
In fact, there's a law. I think the president signed something to
3 months.
That now no president can take more than 3 months.
Actually, would have been putting his cabinet together. I know him very well.
This reminds
me. He will not want to waste one day.
That, you know, in a sense, this reminds me of Chief Obafemi Awolowo when they returned to politics. Remember when the military lifted the ban on politics, and the very second day, the day after the announcement, you recall, he had the whole documentation for a party called, as it was called then.
That was the UPN.
That was the UPN. There's a sense in which APC is one of those distant cousins, right, of it?
Well, there's a difference between a man with a plan and a man that has expectation. Mm-hmm. A man with a plan is always ready from the day you blow the whistle. But the man with the expectation will just be there thinking and wishing that things will happen. So Ashwaju belongs to the class of men with plans. And whenever you blow the whistle, you will see them at the finish line.
You know, all of that being said, there's much work in front of the incoming administration to be headed up by Ashwaju Bola Tinubu as president when the time comes. He's president-elect at the moment. The state of the economy, in fact, so much so that the former emir of Kano, he was quoted to have said that he does not envy Ashwaju because he's coming in
the burden
to take on this burden. But I would say that is the kind of thing that makes Ashwaju Bola Tinubu, stronger. Look at all that the man went through, in his quest for this presidency, and at stages where people would have given up, said, "Ah, this is too much. This is just not working." Somehow he was unruffled. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was still very much in evidence in the character of the man. It's a tough job. The economy is where it is. Security is where it is. Organizing the entire place, security and all of that, it is where it is. But I'm sure Ashwaju has a plan for all of this.
Yes, the job seems to be tough, looks very tough. But again, he gives room for discussion. Discussion all along.
He's always been collaborative.
He's always been collaborating, discussing, trying to profile solutions and all that. So when you have one with a mindset of discussing matters, providing solutions to matters, all it requires is opportunity. When such a person has the opportunity, then those plans, those discussions comes to bear. And mind you, while he was looking at these issues that look so insurmountable to some people, he was also, seeking and looking for people who have solutions and who could help him manifest this workable solution and implement it. So like I said, all it requires is opportunity, and the opportunity has come. So I don't see him being afraid of any issues that confront us as a nation now. But what I see him do is roll up his sleeves, which he has done, and tackle all this matter headlong.
You know, every president that comes on usually has a dream, a plan of, look, supporting whoever is there now, as in the case of APC. Ashwaju also being APC was quite supportive of President Muhammadu Buhari. But nevertheless, as I said on one occasion during the campaign, President Buhari is President Buhari. I am, Bola Tinubu. So there will be different ways to this without, casting any aspersion anywhere. It's just that I am who I am. And so when I'm in charge, it will show. You see the signs that I'm in charge. Now, one of the
people are different.
Exactly, people are different. Now, one of the first, I don't know really what the order of priority is, but getting to run the system is going to be primary. We've been talking for quite a while on the leadership, the headship of the National Assembly. All sorts of permutations, all sorts of suggestions, all sorts of analyses have been floated. There are those who are saying, for instance, everybody seems to keep an eye on the Senate, that in the Senate, it is the time for the Southeast. The Southeast, is the person that should provide the person for that. Well, that's one. And some people say, forget it. It is the South-South. The South-South has never, actually, occupied that position before. And so you have very compelling arguments on both sides. So it is some people who are going to have to sit down, understand it all, take a position, and then the party, no doubt, is going to be reported to, and that is what shall be carried when the time comes for voting in the National Assembly. Because as we know, it's a separate arm of government. They're left to themselves, theoretically, but everybody needs to be interested. Everybody saw what happened when President Muhammadu Buhari, said that, no, just do your own, I'll do my own. I think we learned from all of that. So what do you think about this whole argument, this whole conversation about who should be the next Senate president?
Given our history, no president can sit down and throw his face the other way when you are talking about who is going to head the Senate. We saw it.
We saw it.
What happened during Saraki?
We saw it.
Was that a guy, Saraki? The man that was elected on the platform of APC left APC and went to people, the other party that we defeated after 16 years to form an alliance. It almost cost us 4 years. It's not like football match where if you go to World Cup, if they defeat you, the first match you go home. This one, if you make mistake from day one, you lose 4 years. And if care is not taken, you lose 8 years. God forbid. Actually, would have learned that lesson. And he's a smart person. And he prepared for this office, I said 30 years. He did it in Lagos. Anybody who has governed Lagos can take on this country. It's a 24-hour business to govern Lagos. 24 hours, you'll be awake. Things are happening. Things will happen. So I'm sure he would have been putting his cabinet in place. I'm sure he would have known. Did you think that he went to Paris or UK or America to go and sleep? He's putting his cabinet. Let me tell you, it wouldn't take him 1 month to put his cabinet on the table. I'm telling you this because I know.
Stands to reason.
I know. So it depends on the individual. Don't forget that Buhari never knew he's going to be president again. He never knew he's going to become the president of Nigeria again. He cried and just went away after 2011 elections. It was this Adewale that went back to him and said, it will happen. You know the history. He said, it will happen. We will make you president. Maybe you have been scoring 11 million votes. If I put 2003, 2007, 2011, if I put Southwest 5 million, you win. Aisha was there and the wife was there. No, don't put my husband into trouble. He has been in this for a while. Let him rest. The rest is now history.
Yes,
it happened.
They say the rest is now history.
It happened. So he is a man that understands the game very well. He knows where he's going. And he will deliver.
I noticed you didn't comment on the arguments being preferred for
where he's going to go.
Where it should
Let the
go.
best stand the match. But let us also not forget where we're coming from.
Okay,
Nigeria used to start on a tripod. Let's not just let's just cut one tripod.
Okay, let me try.
Even though we know how the elections played out, but it's not a case of winner takes it all. If you are campaigning to be president of Nigeria, there are other parties. So everybody's talking about his party. We are talking about APC. We know nothing except APC. But when the elections are over, and the leader emerges.
Mm-hmm.
The constituency is Nigeria.
Exactly.
Irrespective of all Nigerians, including those who did not vote for him, including those that have been abusing him, including those who supported him. He is the president of all.
Indeed.
That he has to bring justice to everybody.
That reminds me of the program of our program here yesterday, and Reverend Dominic had called in and said, by the way, he just wanted to inquire, where would Ashwaju be touching down at? Would it be Aguda House? Would it be... I said, the man, just in line with what he said, the man is coming back home to Nigeria.
That is it.
It is Nigeria that is coming. So wherever the address is, it is Nigeria. And they don't have a mace in the presidency, but if they did have something like that, that's where the symbol moves to, wherever. Would therefore be sort of Aso Rock. It reminds me a bit of about the Americans and the Air Force One, the presidential jet. You know, they say wherever the president is, whatever plane he's on, the paraphernalia. This whole conversation as to where some people are saying the southeast because of this, that, and the other kind of configuration. Equity is among the things they're talking about, the security or the fear of, ruffling feathers and all of that. Right next to, in fact, some people are even putting in people from, I think, is it northeast or so? The Northerners have not completely removed themselves from it altogether.
That's it should be us.
Yes, depending on who is putting forward the commentary. Just, what are your ideas about the merits or demerits of those kind of conversations, shall we say?
Well, my take will be whichever nationality or geopolitical zone that the party decide to swing it to, we should look at experience.
Comrade,
we should look
you're also going the political route.
No. You should understand that the party is supreme.
Yes.
The party is the platform. And definitely the party will do whatever they will do so that equity will come to play. But beyond that, I'm a realist. I won't sacrifice competence on the altar of self-pity. Regardless of the nationality or geopolitical zone, I will be looking at who is ready to operate the Nigerian constitution in terms of separation of powers. Within that limitation also, who is going to be a team player? Because Nigeria comes first, regardless of any mundane issues, so that self-matter does not be thrown into the ring and power does not become so absolute that people forget the reason why they have been elected into power. So that is very, very important. And I know very well that everyone that is jostling to become the Senate president definitely would have one or two strengths. But we are looking to solve a national problem. Who is ready to be a team player? That's my take.
Well, indeed. I think both of you have managed to put it very, very safely. Because, as you said, party is supreme. Yes. So let them put forward these positions. The people within the party will no doubt consider them, and then we shall know the way the party is leaning. There's also a warning. I think I was reading it this morning, one of the paper headlines, alerting, I wouldn't say warning, alerting Ashwaju Bola Tinubu to the possible danger of opposition infiltrating the new, the senators elect, members of the National Assembly elect. Say be on the lookout for that. There can be spoilers, and so you just don't want to take any chances. I don't know. Is politics that kind of way?
We have seen it before. We don't want to see it again. We have to take anybody or everybody looking at your back, looking at your antecedents, where you're coming from. It's not just to go and pick anybody. We know the roles some of them played during the primaries. Somebody were telling lies. That the president said he's going to be one candidate. He's going to be one candidate. And then the 24, 25 governors say, okay, let us go to the president. Let him tell us who he wants to endorse. And they went. The president says he has not endorsed anybody. So there are pathetic, pathological liars. Even though they are senators, we know them very well. We're not going to trust them.
We can't.
Actually, knows what to do. Don't worry.
Okay.
When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. Neatly.
Okay.
This election was fought. It was a battle. It was a battle, and it's not going to compromise. We're not going to use anybody who doesn't understand the meaning of where we are and where we're going, to come and spoil, put sand inside Gary. Ha.
Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to Joe Igbokwe, and I call him the strong man of Amuward of him.
Ayodele, Adewale.
Yes. Uncle Yori, I'm also glad to have Asiwaju back to the country, and I've been listening to your conversations. I want to repeat what I've told you before about the Senate presidency. I've heard a lot of arguments. Some people are saying not too much votes came from the southeast, and so they did not get what they were expecting from there. But I took a second look at the election results. As things stand today, Uncle Yori, out of the 5 states in the southeast, APC is controlling 2 states, the highest number of states. PDP is controlling 1. Labour is controlling 1. ABGA is controlling 1. That tells me that APC is making inroads to the southeast, even though they did not win the presidential election there. For me, it is understandable because one of their sons was contesting for presidency. It's like expecting all the Yoruba states to vote for somebody else massively when Tinubu is contesting. Now, you do not use wrong to pay back what is wrong. I have said it before that the Senate presidency should go to the southeast, if only to show that integrity matters in politics. I remember those of them in the southeast, Uncle Yori, who have been trying to build bridges, like Joe Igbokwe that is sitting beside you there. I remember what Reverend Dominic said in 2015, that he came to a point that even his own wife refused to give him food because he voted for APC. We have seen what the Bumahi is doing. We have seen Okorocha. We have seen...
No, that was Reverend Dominic. That was Reverend Dominic.
Yes. That was Reverend Dominic in 2015.
In 2015.
That did not deter him from still supporting the APC. Because of people like that, I think the APC needs to think twice to encourage that bridge building. It cannot happen in a day. So the Southeast needs to be given that Senate presidency. If there are controversies about who among the senators should be given, let them decide among themselves whoever they want to bring. But whoever they want to bring must be competent, must be, harmonious with the agenda of the government. That's my suggestion. It's a suggestion. We are commoners. The parties are the people that we decide, but we have a duty to make suggestions as Nigerians. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see that there will be equity, there will be peace, there will be bridging, and there will be more space for APC in the Southeast.
Indeed.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. And I don't know, there's so many candidates, that are competent from either side of the divide. Mr. George has just, thrown his weight behind a candidate from the Southeast. In that case, it probably would be, well, I don't know, maybe Senator Uzo Ojikalu. That would be the man.
Osita is also there. Osita is also there. One Osita
is also there. Then when it comes to the South, I think Akpabio is one of the prominent names being mentioned. So really, some people have even narrowed it down. Maybe everybody's getting a bit ahead of themselves to between Kalu or Akpabio. So, but you never know in politics. There just might be something else. And the main reason they're talking that way in terms of for Oji Uzokadu is that, he's
the chief whip.
That's right. He's already the chief whip. He's ranking, therefore he has rank on his side.
He has a lot to bring to the table, experience on that office. Anyway, I just had the man. He said, because Southeast, we have, I think, 4 parties there now in Southeast. APC 2, ABGA 1, Labour 1, PDP 1. But APC 1 Southeast. So we've been trying to make inroads to the Southeast for years. It's been difficult, but we'll get there. I'm telling you. So I want, without sounding immodest, I want Southeast to be encouraged. I also mentioned the fact that we should not, saying, Igbo people did not vote Adewale, but they forgot that our man is on the ballot. And we have not ruled this country since the end of the Civil War in 1970. That is an issue. So Nigerians should understand Igbo, I'm APC. But I'm not mindful of that fact that we have 2 states in the Southeast APC. We're making a road. Okay. Small. And that if you check it, Southeast, I don't think APC had 2 states in it. If you ask me, give it to Southeast.
Okay.
We are the tripod before.
Okay. It's a tripod.
It's a tripod before. So before this creation of states, it used to be Eastern region, Northern region, Western region.
Indeed. All of that might play into it. Daniel in